Toronto. From the DVP to the QEW, Canada's most interesting faces and personalities roast up your spirits. Sage gives headline makers insight. You are listening to the Sage Makoto Show. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto.
And good morning, Toronto.
Hey, Sage, we got more music from that show you like so much.
Oh, that's good. What's going on?
I went to see it, so we got a few more if you want to play them.
So, I am obsessed with this new musical, Optimus Maximus. It's written by Tristan Wycliffe, and it's about a group of men who are all too gay all of the time, and they're Romans, and it's the religious battle of the Titans. Christianity is brand new in Rome as the top dog. And so paganism, which had been for about 3,000 years the religion of Rome and the Roman Empire, is now being forcibly replaced by Christianity. And the songs are so good. I wanted to say the show opens up with this goddess Athena version of narrator lady with a spear in front of a full moon. So maybe she's supposed to be Athena, maybe Black Artemis, and she welcomes us to Rome. And then you have this lame-ass character who is the main character sing a song about how lame-ass he is and how he is devoted to Jupiter and following Jupiter. And he has to do these chores for the thunder god, or the thunder god makes his life miserable. Are you following along? So then this evil character, but who is dead sexy, Jonicus Cowardicus, comes in and says at the Temple of Artemis that they're going to close the temple and that it will be converted to a church of Saint Elvin of Goatsea, which if you don't know, then you don't know, and I'm not going to tell you. And so here's a song or two.
Regis! Thanks, guys. Regis. Avius. Been a long time. A long time since what? Have we met before? The other week, the Temple of Artemis? Not recalling, no. Oh, it's you. I'm so happy to see you, yeah. Oh, you remember me? Well, yeah, I mean, how could I forget? You were, how could I forget you? I thought you were great. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, I never thought I could feel that way or see those things like stars in my eyes. I didn't realize I was so influential. Powerful, I thought what you did was truly stunning. I was just doing what I know he wants me to do. Oh, fuck, yes, I love that about you. Wow, your decency? I didn't know you had such strong feelings about the whole thing. I'm so happy. I have waited for you to come see me again like you promised since I got to Rome. I discovered so much. Wait up. Hold up. Promise? Weren't you the one behind the temple with me as we? No. Oh, no. Oh, really? Yeah? No. Really, I dig it. Fuck yeah. Yeah? I mean, wait, I know. No. Yeah. No. No. Yes. Wait, yes. No. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Wait. No. No! Oh, yes. And soon you will find me ready to punish you. And I'll enjoy every second of it. Are, you asking me to, what page are we on? What are you punishing me for? For your heresy against the church. Oh, well, good, but bad. But I was hoping for it to be, the other thing. Yeah, I know, me too. Damn. Oh, you shall be. And just as soon as you and your pagan friends are rounded up, I shall have you in chains and then strip you and whip you. Are you, sure you aren't talking about the other thing too? Because... Arts! Because... I'm no shit. Kinda chubbing right now. And you are a sodomite? Take him away! Wait, are you? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm kinda turned on by that though, aren't you? Besides the point!
Don't lose heart! We are with you! Yeah! What's up now, motherfuckers? Because it is not over, we say it's not too late. We will stand and fight these bitches, open up the Janus gate. But
how can we die better than by facing fearful odds for the sakes of all our loved ones and the temples of our gods? Go on and fight them bitches. Go and get up now for the gods. Fight the bitches. Jupiter and Juno, fight them bitches. For Venus and Minerva, fight them bitches. For Neptune and Elisha, fight them bitches. To war. For how can we die better than by facing fearful odds for the sakes of all our loved ones and the temples of our gods? For how can we die better than by facing fearful odds for the sakes of all our loved ones and the temples of our gods? Ah! For our gods. It's very powerful and moving. And it's a very inspiring speech as well. It's a speech that really makes you think about what it means to be a citizen of Rome and what it means to be a member of the Roman Empire. It's a speech that makes you think about the importance of the gods and the importance of the traditions and customs of Rome.
That was a funny exchange, I thought, between the lame ass and Jonicus when they meet, and suddenly there's like this mistaken identity thing, and he's captured and all this sexual tension. It's pretty gay.
It's very gay.
Gayer than Church Street?
Haha. Church Street, during which festival, though?
How about, I don't know, standard gay pride?
Standard gay pride? No.
Well,
Yes. Yes, it is. But it's not as gay as, like, the fetish fair.
What is that on a scale of gay? Like, between a scale of quote-unquote confirmed bachelor too. Just the ruby slippers and the braids is your Pride Toronto outfit, and nothing else. What is it on that scale?
It's somewhere at a point on the gay scale, just ever so slightly more gay than is Rent, but not as gay as anything that Disney has tried to put out recently. So
there's that.
Optimus Maximus at the Toronto Opera House. Go see it. Leave the kids at home. They, they swear a little bit in it.
Really? A little bit? Sage, come on. Just a touch of swearing.
Like sailors. Right. Well, we have an interesting guest coming up. The outgoing Vice President of the United States is going to talk to us. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Sage Makoto Show on Radio 1 Toronto. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. My producer and I are putting the travails of ancient Rome to one side for the moment, while we welcome the first woman Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, who joins us now in our studio. Welcome, Madam Vice President.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
You know, you're the first woman Vice President, and I know that many people are excited about that. What's been the most challenging part of your job so far?
One of the most challenging aspects of my job has been navigating the complex political landscape and finding common ground with colleagues from different parties. It can be difficult to find solutions that work for everyone, but I believe that compromise and collaboration are essential to moving our country forward.
I bet you have some. Mixed feelings about the inauguration tomorrow. Will you be attending?
Oh, I might find an excuse to sleep in.
Sorry, Dawn, but my phone alarm, it never went off.
Well, I've never been one to shy away from a challenge, so I'll be there, but I don't think I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Is that weird?
Well, yeah, it is weird. But I think that's part of the excitement, the anticipation. It's like a big celebration, a new chapter in our nation's history, and I'm just feeling the energy.
I'm sure you are. I know I am. I just have to ask you, what do you think about the way the media has been treating you? We just did a thing around New Year's with King Caston in Cascadia. He's been waylaid quite a bit in the media. In Canada, Justin Trudeau, our PM, him too.
Yeah, I think it's important to recognize that there are many different perspectives and opinions out there, and that's a good thing. I believe in the freedom of the press and the importance of having a robust and diverse media landscape. I think it's also important to recognize that everyone has a right to their own opinion, and that we should strive to create an environment where all voices can be heard and respected.
That's a good point. And I guess that's what's so great about Canada and Cascadia is we're so diverse and we embrace that. And I know King Caston is very proud of his country, and I have to say I am too. But I'm also aware of the criticisms, and I think some of them are valid. I mean, we have a lot of people who are struggling, and I think it's important to listen to them and take them seriously, even if you don't agree with them.
That's a good point. It's important to listen and be open to different perspectives. I think that's what makes our country so great. We have so many different voices and experiences, and we're all better off when we're able to hear each other and come together.
I think that's a very insightful and inclusive way to think about it, and I'm sure you have a lot on your plate right now, but can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, please do. I have literally nothing to do at my job now. For some reason.
Some reason. In regard to women's rights, can you tell us a bit about the work you've done in that area, and what did you hope to accomplish as vice president, and did you accomplish it?
Sure, I'm happy to talk about that. As vice president, I've been working to advance women's rights and equality on a number of different fronts. This has included advocating for equal pay for equal work, fighting for paid family leave, and addressing the issue of domestic violence. I've also been working to make sure that women have a voice in the decision-making process, both in government and in the workplace. I'm proud of the progress we've made, but there's still more work to do.
It's great to hear that you're committed to these issues, and I know there's a lot of work to be done, but it's encouraging to know that you're working towards making the changes we need to see. So, how did losing the election? I was watching you concede, and it was a day late, and I could see you at Jimmy Carter's funeral. You gave Trump the side eye, and is there some negativity there?
I will always admit to being human. I felt hurt, and I felt betrayed by the process. The process, yeah, but I think the process is bigger than me and the individuals involved in it, so I chose to act accordingly. It may not have been unfair in the vote count, but it felt unfair to the heart, because when you get your hopes up and they're dashed on such a
massive scale in front of millions.
But no pressure, right?
Nope, none.
They're dashed on such a scale, it takes a toll on you. It can be so personally defeating, not just electorally, it can be so. There is a word beyond despondency in that it is a sort of despair. To be rejected by a date is one thing, by a job is another, by your love another, but by your nation. Your nation. It was very hard, yeah. And as you know, I am not a fan of Donald Trump, and I think he has been an incredibly divisive and destructive figure in our nation's history. But I will also say that I've learned to keep my personal feelings separate from my work as vice president, and I've remained focused on doing my job and making a positive difference for the American people. For as long as I have that job, which is,
Hours. Merely hours left.
I'm going to do it head held high and well. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve as your vice president, America. Thank you. Thank you, America. And thank you, Canada, too.
Well, Canada thanks you too, Madam Vice President. We do offer political asylum,
Ha! Ha ha! I may well need that.
Just a bit, eh? Well, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, the first woman vice president, thank you for coming in. It's been an honor.
The honor has indeed been mine, my dear. Bless you. Thank you.
You are listening to the Sage Makoto Show on Radio 1 Toronto. I am Sage Makoto. We have been talking with Vice President of the United States on her last day on the job. The full interview will be available on our website later on during the inauguration commentary. Stay tuned, and we will be back after this.
Morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto.
All right, so I have to say, before we start, I just have to say, I love your outfit. Is that a new outfit?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm actually wearing my inauguration outfit today. It's a new design by one of my favorite designers, and I thought it would be appropriate for the occasion.
I love it. It's very elegant. I do have a question for you. I think it's important to ask about your thoughts on the whole JD Vance thing and the circumstances around the certification. When you were presiding over the joint session of Congress, I noticed something interesting, and it was that JD Vance was the only Republican out of all the Republicans to stand up and applaud both for you when you announced your vote totals, joining the Democrats as the lone, single, and only Republican to stand up and applaud for you, and to your face in the same room. He smiled at you and gave you the thumbs up and winked at you and really expressed some affection to you. And he was also the only Republican to stand up and applaud for his opponent for the office of Vice President, Governor Walz of Minnesota.
Yes. Yes, he did.
So I have to ask, what do you make of that? What was going on there? It's hard to read his intentions, but it was certainly an interesting interaction.
J.D. Vance was a difficult opponent. We have very different views on many issues, and it was a very close race. But he's a very intelligent man, and I respect him. I'm not sure what to make of it. It was certainly a unique situation, but it's hard to judge someone's intentions based on one interaction. I try to keep an open mind and give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Is it something that you have caused a doubt? Like, do you have any reason to think he was being insincere? I actually, to be honest with you, thought he was being really classy. You know, as the only Republican out of all the Republicans in the room, a couple hundred of them, to stand up and applaud his opponent in the race, Governor Walz, when no one else would. But also you, especially to your face, like, that's one thing to do it for you because you're in the room and, you know, you could talk it up to being polite, but to do it for Governor Walz not in the room, that takes, I think, some real dignity, real class. I think, honestly, it says that he's willing to respect his opponents and not just look for any opening for a cheap shot at them or to cause them an indignation. Would you agree or disagree?
I would agree with that, yes. I think it takes a lot of character to be able to acknowledge and respect your opponent even when you disagree with them on many issues. It's not easy to do, but I think it's an important quality in a leader. J.D. Vance is a very intelligent man with a strong sense of conviction and a deep understanding of the issues that matter most to the American people. He is a champion for the middle class, and he has a strong record of advocating for policies that benefit working families. He also has a deep appreciation for the importance of our democracy and the need to work together to address the challenges we face as a nation.
And what about him personally? How do you feel about him as an individual? Politics set to one side for the moment, taking over your job as vice president.
I think he's a good person with a strong sense of morality. He's dedicated to serving his country, and he has a deep respect for the rule of law. I believe that he has the right qualities to be a successful vice president.
Even if you disagree politically, I mean?
Even if I disagree politically, it's important to recognize that people can have different perspectives and opinions, but that doesn't make them bad people. We can still have a healthy and respectful dialogue and work together to find common ground.
Well, okay, I'm not going to ask about Trump because the answer is obvious. I'm going to ask about, well, like, Vance was the only Republican who did stand up for you in the same room and who did smile and wink and express affection for you, even as the rest were still sitting and not applauding, were sitting against you. Why would they not, in the spirit of bipartisanship, make an effort to see the larger picture, like maybe J.D. Vance did, of history and the moment of finding and sharing and standing together on common ground to preserve the union and maybe actually start to, or at least fake the uniting of the United, or rather maybe ununited States of America?
I think it's important to recognize that we have a lot of work to do to heal the divide in our country. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to take time and effort from both sides. But it's possible to find common ground and work together for the benefit of the American people.
Is that something that you will be interested in helping J.D. Vance do as vice president?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's important to have a vice president who is dedicated to working across the aisle and finding solutions that benefit everyone. I believe that J.D. Vance is the right person for the job.
And what about President-elect, or rather President-re-elect, Donald Trump?
Would I be interested in helping President Trump, you mean? I have a lot of respect for President Trump as a person. He's a very successful businessman and he has a deep understanding of the needs of the American people. Now he also has a strong sense of patriotism and a commitment to making America great again. I'm not sure I agree with his idea or his vision of what great means, though. I think that he is a divisive figure who has stoked fear and hatred among the American people. I don't think that's what makes America great. I believe that we should come together as a nation and focus on the things that unite us, not the things that divide us.
And so, how should you and your party, I believe that you are still technically the leader of your party, are you not? How would you suggest to your party to go about being responsive to the needs of the people in America who voted for Trump for a second term?
Well, I think it's important for us to listen to the concerns of those who voted for Trump and try to understand why they felt the need to make that choice. We should also recognize that there are many people who are struggling financially and feel left behind by our economy. We need to address these issues and work to provide opportunities for all Americans.
Is that where you feel like your campaign really could have refocused on a little bit more acutely the economy? The grocery store and price of grocery issue, which has been an issue here in Canada as well. As the United States is our largest trading partner, our prices have also increased because of your economic policies. When your costs go up, so do ours for many products. We've been buying Canadian primarily for a little while now, most of us, because the cost of American prices, or rather American price goods, has increased so much at the point of sale.
I think that the focus on the economy was important, but it wasn't the only issue that we should have been talking about. We also need to address other issues such as climate change and inequality. We can't ignore the concerns of the American people, but we also can't forget about the bigger picture.
But Madam Vice President, do you feel like if you focused more on the economy than you get on those issues, that might have resonated more with the American people? I ask this because, and I say this as someone who admires and respects you and who wanted to see you do very well in the last election, equality and equal rights. How do you use those equal rights if you are struggling to eat? When food stamps, for instance, were cut after COVID and the stimulus checks stopped coming and all the business tried to get back to normal of government, but the economy has still yet to rebound. And you cut food stamps down by about the 100. If someone was getting $385 US a month, than only getting 185 or 285 or even less than the 100 a month. While prices are increasing and inflation is getting a little out of control, why didn't the Democrats, who historically I believe have been in favor of price controls in some areas of, say, medication like we have here in Canada, why didn't you try to institute price controls for groceries items?
That's a good question. I think that we should have done more to address the issue of inflation and rising costs. We should have been working to find ways to make it easier for people to afford food and other necessities. I also think that we should have been doing more to help people who were struggling financially due to the pandemic. We could have done more to provide relief and support for those who needed it most.
So instead of doing that, what were you guys doing instead of the time? What specifically were you guys focused on instead of that?
Well, we were focused on issues like climate change, health care, and gun control. We also wanted to make sure that people had access to the education and training they needed to succeed in the workforce. We were also focused on addressing the social and economic disparities that exist in our country. We wanted to make sure that everyone had an equal opportunity to succeed regardless of their background or circumstances.
Drawing a relation to the inequality that you talked about, that you were focused on, but surely you can agree, Madam Vice President, that direct action, politically speaking, I mean, on price controls or grocery items, like the Democrats have proposed before for, as I mentioned, here in Canada, we have price controls on medication because the government negotiates directly with the pharmaceutical companies for lower prices. Why didn't the United States government, while you are Vice President during the campaign, why didn't you negotiate or try to negotiate or propose to negotiate with food suppliers, with manufacturers and suppliers of products that during COVID we would have said are essential needs? Why didn't you negotiate for those lower prices?
That's a good question. I think that we could have done more to address the issue of rising costs. We should have been working to find ways to make food and other necessities more affordable. We could have negotiated with manufacturers and suppliers to get lower prices. We also could have looked into ways to provide subsidies or other forms of support to help people who were struggling to afford the basic necessities. We could have also looked into ways to improve the efficiency of our food supply chain. By making it more efficient, we could have reduced costs and made food more affordable. We could have also looked into ways to reduce waste and increase sustainability. This would have had a positive impact on both the environment and the economy.
Is that the advice that you would give to your party moving forward?
Yes, I think it's important for the Democratic Party to focus on these issues and to find ways to address the rising costs of living. We also need to make sure that everyone has access to the basic necessities they need to survive. This is a critical issue that we can't ignore.
One last question, Madam Vice President, and I also want to thank you for agreeing to appear on our show today and to come all the way to Toronto to do it on Inauguration Eve. We're very honored to have you. My last question is this. I greatly, deeply, as a woman, especially, it was so inspiring to see you step up when Joe Biden made the decision to not seek his, or rather not complete his bid for re-election as President of the United States, to watch you step up when you didn't ask to seek that office. And when you weren't seeking that office, that was sort of thrust upon you, not as an opportunity like some ambitious politician might be licking his chops for, but as the next in line for the, not just the presidency, but also as the next in line for the office of leader of your party, rather than some ambitious politician who might be looking to capitalize on that, it was sort of thrust upon you, and you sort of stood up and answered that call to serve this office you weren't expecting to serve in at the top of your party ticket for the election. And you stood up and you answered that call, nervous, as I'm certain you must have found yourself in that situation. You have 4 years to decide. But I must ask you, although I know what you're probably going to say, I don't think you'll probably commit to anything right here on our tiny little radio show in Toronto. But do you have any desire to explore, at the very least, running for president again?
Well, I'm certainly not going to rule anything out. I think it's important to keep an open mind and to focus on the issues that matter most to the American people. Right now, I'm focused on being a good vice president for the next 12 hours and, not tripping on the platform tomorrow and standing and sitting and clapping for the incoming president and vice president, which is all that I have left to do, really. That and your show.
Oh,
And by doing that, representing the American people, especially the Democratic American people who voted Democratic, representing all of them, as the sort of emissary or ambassador on their behalf at the inauguration to the incoming president, to try to show, if not their support, then try to embody the unity that we are trying to achieve at the inauguration on their behalf, representing them. And also, in that way, also supporting President Biden and trying to make President Biden proud and do him well and proudly by making him proud of me and proud of having picked me for vice president 4 years ago. And doing these things tomorrow and after tomorrow and many tomorrows after that in any and every way that I can. But who knows what the future holds?
oh, Madam Vice President, you mean to tell me that we are the last thing, aside from the inauguration, that you have left to do for your historic tenure as Vice President and the first woman to hold that position ever in the history of the United States, the only one ever? We're the last thing on your schedule?
You are. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's top, Madam Vice President. That is top, as we say in Toronto. Top? Well, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, thank you for coming in to be on our show today and crossing the border just to talk with us. We're so lucky and happy and privileged to have you, and good luck at the inauguration tomorrow. And thank you so much for your service and for your time today. It's been a pleasure to have you.
As I said earlier, it is I whom should be honored and am honored by your asking me to appear on your show today. Thank you, and thank you so much for the Canadian people for hosting me today, and for the American people I have only gratitude and my wholehearted and full-hearted love, and I promise that my commitment to serve and to better in any and every way that I can my country will never waver and will never lessen. It has been my deepest and most humbling honor to serve as your vice president, and thank you so much for having me. I love you, America, and thank you.
Kamala Harris, the first woman ever to hold the office of Vice President of the United States of America. Everybody. You have been listening to the Sage Makoto Show. We are happy to provide this extended interview for our online listeners. You can check out more on our website for Radio 1 Toronto. I am Sage Makoto, and we will see you, well, not tomorrow. The inauguration coverage will be airing in our time slot tomorrow, but the next day we will catch us on, I believe, Tuesday. So we will see you all then. You are listening to the Sage Makoto Show only on Radio 1 Toronto.
Good morning, Toronto.